led the league in scoring last year, number 1 in three-pointers made per game, number 1 in assists, and they take care of the ball, too. They did not turn the ball over that much as well. Let's welcome in our next guest. He is the head coach at NJIT, Mr. Mike Lane of NJIT, now joining us here at America East Women's Basketball Media Day. Entering year 7, Mike, thanks so much for the time. You've got a lot of experience coming back to your team this year. You better be excited about some continuity heading into year 7.
For sure. Thanks for having me today. We're obviously excited to get going, and it's always a luxury to have some experience to lean on, for sure.
It's great to see you, Mike. I can come to games and cheer for everybody now. This is like a completely different role for me.
Or give us pointers. You can give us pointers as well.
I don't think anybody needs pointers from me, but it's it's great to see you, and I'm really rooting for you guys this year. I know you have some really tremendous players back. Talk a little bit about like this summer, and anybody really surprise you this summer, and some maybe underclassmen that's really kind of taken that next step for you.
Yeah, well, obviously, we had a really good summer, a busy summer. These kids here at NJIT were very busy with basketball, but also some internships, which so even then we're dealing with some practice conflicts, even in the summer. But, so we actually missed some older kids that had some internships during the week, which really allowed the younger kids to, kind of be on main stage, which was really good. A lot of our returning sophomores, they kind of had a banged up freshman year, unfortunately. I don't think we got a full picture. I don't think the league got a full picture of our freshman class last year. Audrey Corman, Maddie Doggs, were banged up. Mackenzie Wright was dealing with plantar fasciitis all year. And then again, Marissa Gingrich made a run there at the end of our year and started in February. And that's kind of what we expected out of that freshman class. And unfortunately, we just didn't see it last winter. But they had a great summer. And I think, that class, along with Angie Banis, I thought they really started to at least exert themselves in this program, which they didn't really get a chance to do last winter. But this summer afforded them that.
Yeah. Since you went there, really quick to go back to the classroom, 227 NJIT students named to the America East Academic Honor Roll, 61 student athletes with a GPA of at least 4.0, or maybe 4.0 is the max. That proves I didn't have a 4.0 when I was at Syracuse University. But anyway, if 4.0 is the max, your students, never mind your team, but the whole school's getting it done in the classroom. Yeah,
no, it's an incredible academic experience. They are committed, certainly both on the court and off. But that's why they're choosing a place like this. They know where it's putting them for their adult life, and they put the work in. I can't. Like you, I did not get a 4.0. I can hardly name some of these classes that they're taking. So I'm not the person to come to for help on a lot of that engineering stuff. They're just killing it in the classroom and getting great opportunities and internships. And then obviously their outcomes upon graduation are impressive.
Yeah. Okay, I'll jump back in here to basketball. I couldn't help that when I saw it on the website. 227 student athletes. That is very impressive. Alejandra Zuniga, I hope I'm pronouncing her name right, coming off a great year shooting the three, 38%, 14 points a game. I asked Maureen, we were going through the preseason all-conference team, and I'm wondering, all right, who might have been someone left off that could have made a case? Who might end up on that first team, maybe high second team when we get to the end of the year? Coming off a really impressive year, what about Alejandra that could be expected here this coming season?
Yeah, it's definitely a disappointment and certainly a surprise that she didn't make first team, quite honestly. She was fifth in the league in scoring. I don't know what else you have to do to get a first team preseason league. But again, we have to earn that respect. We have not certainly gotten that yet, but it gives us something to play with. And I'm sure Alejandra is going to be disappointed, but she was and has been for 2 years certainly a centerpiece of our program. She has a certain flair to her game. She can get other people involved. That's something I'd like to see a little bit more. Certainly she's not in that assist leader category where I would like her to be. And I think that's been a real conversation that we've had through the summer and through the preseason to get more people involved, because she's very good at that. But again, she's also a scoring point guard. So she's going to look for herself. She can draw too. She just doesn't have to force a lot of those, some shots or even some passes. And when she plays like that, once she starts to distribute, the driving lanes are going to be there for her. So we're super excited for her junior season. And, she's one of the top players in the league, no doubt.
And like you said, it's good motivation. Now that she's upperclassman, right? Sometimes things like that, I'm sure she's really excited for the season to begin with. But I've always felt, we're talking about preseason polls as a coach and all that stuff. Most of the time, I know we usually just say, preseason polls. But when it comes to the players, it's always, from my experience, been interesting, because the players that sometimes feel that they maybe got snubbed off of a team here or there, they get ultra focused sometimes. So I'm sure she'll do that. Take that big leap now that she's an upperclassman. Talk about even with Trinity and Aria, being I mean, you have some experience, a lot of leaders. Have they really kind of taken? They might have been the ones that you maybe weren't there for the summer doing internships, because I know that from experience is usually the seniors that always miss in the summer. But,
Correct.
have they kind of taken some of the younger players under their wing a little bit?
Yeah, and I will have to say, the league has done me a favor. To your point, Maureen, there's no better motivation for Ale right now. So that was news to me when I just saw it recently. And like you said, the kids care about that more than the coaches do. So we'll certainly get her in the right space. But they probably did me a favor of it. It's an easy motivational ploy that I don't have to. Even I'm smart enough to figure that one out. But Trinity and Reese, and we also have a grad transfer, Enya McGuire, came in. And I think that our super seniors with Aria, who's in her 5th year, her COVID year, she's in grad school with Enya, and then Reese and Trinity are regular seniors. And, they have shown great leadership. I think Reese Vaughn has had probably one of the breakout kids of the certainly the preseason. I think she's been playing very well. And you're correct. They were seniors and they had some internship commitments this summer. But, those two kids are really hard workers, so they may not have been with the team a whole lot, but they were still getting in the gym with our coaches at kind of off hours, around their internship program. So it worked out. They're ready to go. And, that as a coach, seniors understand, they embrace that this is, the last go around. So there's a little bit more urgency. There's a little bit more ownership from them, and they've shown that throughout. So, I'm excited that because we did lose 3 captains. Kenna Squire, Lizzie Litwinko, and Lily Anderson were 3 captains. That's a lot of leadership. So I think this senior class has stepped up brilliantly so far.
Pretty cool news for Kenna Squire in the offseason, signing a pro deal with Portugal. I'm sure that's kind of a needle mover for the program, something you can share with your current players. Hey, look what we're building here, and we can set you up. Never mind, we talk about the classroom, but maybe play at the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. And what a great place. She was able to kind of even choose where she wanted to go, which is a great luxury. And, so she turned down some other opportunities and really wanted to be in a place that she wanted to live. Obviously, Portugal is beautiful and wonderful. And she's been over there for a couple of weeks, killing it and having a great time.
So filling some of those gaps, you mentioned some of those departures. Enya McGuire comes over from Houston Christian, another backcourt piece. How does she fit in, especially with Zuniga? Another shooter, so you got some shooting back.
Yeah, and that was a big piece for us. We obviously losing Litwinko had been a point guard here, and Kenna, who was on the ball so much. So that was a definite need. And we recruited Enya 4 years ago. She was at the Hun School at Princeton. So we knew her, saw her on the portal. It was maybe the easiest, portal conversation ever, because she had already visited here twice when she was in prep school. So exactly what we needed. Provides that shooting, provides that leadership, sees the floor really well, gets us a little faster up and down the court. And obviously takes a little bit of weight off of Ale. So Ale doesn't always have the ball in her hands. Obviously, like you mentioned earlier, she's one of our best 3-point shooters. So maybe that gets Enya and Marissa, bringing the ball up with a little bit more speed and allowing Ale to spot up next to him. So really helps our guard unit tremendously.
That's great. And looking ahead to your non-conference, I'm excited to see you're going to Florida Gulf Coast for a tournament. That sounds pretty great. But besides that, playing at Rutgers, is that a game that your players, just being a big name in the state, do they really get up for game? I mean, obviously, we all get up for bigger name games, but just being, in state, is that something that they kind of circle on the schedule?
Yeah, absolutely. Those are those experience games. You're playing somebody in the Big Ten. You're playing a program that has gone to Final Fours. They're right down the street. So, the travel is kind of nice for us. We don't have to fly out to Indiana to play a Big Ten team, which is really nice. And so that's certainly one that's, circled. Florida Gulf Coast is great. We were in the A-Sun for 5 years. I coached in the A-Sun for 2 years. Carl's program is unbelievable. Their environment down there is great for mid-major. They always have a great crowd, and they're one of the best mid-major teams in the country year in and year out. I just loved playing them when we were in the A-Sun, and I always said, hey, we're going to find our way to get back there. So that's going to be a great test at our level, but also just a great trip. Get some weather in November when sometimes Newark can get a little gray there. So we're those two games are certainly the circled games for sure. Everything else is what I like to say our other conference. We play a lot of games that are basically just a day trip, kind of like our Metro New York conference, as it were, playing playing St. Peter's, playing FDU generally, and LIU, and those are just really nice bus trips, easy day trips, and feel like conference games because we do generally play all these teams just about every year.
Right.
Mike Lane, head coach at NJIT, joining us here on America East Women's Basketball Media Day. Thanks to the folks at Field of 68 for producing. So when we talked to the commissioner, we talked to Amy moments ago. So you've got Maine, Albany, Vermont, rightfully so, talking the league. What's it going to take with this younger group with some new pieces to take down some of the top teams in the league?
Yeah, I think it's every coach says it, but it's attitude and effort. I think we have certainly shrunk the talent gap that maybe we had in previous years and since we entered the league. So I think our girls, we've been able to get Maine a couple times over the last few years. We've fallen short against Albany. We've fallen short against Vermont, but they are clearly the top of the league. But our girls should be confident. I think they're not scared of anybody anymore. There's no intimidation there. We just have to prove it, and we have to prove it with a little bit more positive attitude. Sometimes when we can get down, we can get real down on ourselves, and we got to keep that up. And then our effort, we're just still striving for consistent effort night in and night out. And certainly those top three programs have shown, how to do it over the last few years. But I think this is an experienced group, as we've talked about. I think we have talent in the sophomore class, certainly in our freshmen coming in, that we feel like we can make the jump in this league. Last year was a disappointment, certainly a step back for us. Just a one terrible month of January of 2024. That was a tough one, but we did rebound, get into the championship. Didn't have the effort against Albany we wanted in the first round, but I think we at least ended that year with some positivity. And, this program's hungry to get at least to that top half, which we feel like we can get to.
Okay. All right, Mike, thanks so much. And if you want to, offline, you can chat with Maureen if she wants to give you some pointers throughout the year. She is available.
He doesn't need any of my pointers. I'm excited for you guys. Like, I think you're going to have a great year, like you said. I mean, it sounds like everybody's hungry, and that happens. Unfortunately, obviously, we all know that. It's a lot of luck, and just don't have to stay healthy at the right time. And I'm going to say an extra prayer for you. Everybody stays healthy, especially in the month of January, because January is a tough month to be injured.
It is.
So you guys are going to have a great year.
I will take all prayers and pointers. Well, emails are open.
Well, good luck.
All right, Mike. Thanks a lot for coming on. Good stuff from Mike Lane, head coach at NJIT. Thank you.